Hello, and welcome to the moment you can allow yourself the peace and relaxation you deserve. Tonight, I want you to close your eyes and picture yourself standing before an antique mirror. Its frame is carved from dark wood, ornate and heavy. You lean closer and see your reflection staring back at you. The glass is old, slightly warped, with tiny imperfections that catch the light. There's something mesmerizing about seeing yourself reflected perfectly. The mirror knows every detail of your face better than any photograph. It's been doing this simple magic trick, bouncing light back at you for thousands of years. But have you ever wondered how humans first discovered this trick? The story begins not with glass, but with something much simpler. Something you might walk past without even noticing. The very first mirrors weren't mirrors at all. They were still ponds and quiet pools of water. Early humans saw themselves reflected in calm water and must have wondered at this strange duplicate person staring back at them. But what happens when water freezes in winter? Someone needed a reflection that wouldn't ripple or disappear. Around 6000 BCE, in ancient Turkey, an artisan discovered that polished obsidian, volcanic glass, could hold a reflection. These black stone mirrors were smooth and dark, like frozen midnight. You can imagine them sitting by firelight, rubbing obsidian with fine sand for hours until suddenly there it was, a face looking back. The Egyptians took this further, with polished copper and bronze beaten thin and buffed into a warm golden shine. But could bronze really show you what you looked like? Not quite. Bronze tarnished. It required constant polishing. The reflection was always slightly warped, slightly amber tinted. It showed you a version of yourself, but never the truth. For thousands of years, this was the best humanity could do. Everything changed in Venice. Around the year 1000 CE, Venetian glassmakers discovered how to coat blown glass with tin and mercury. For the first time in history, you could see yourself clearly. Not bronze tinted, not warped, but true. The mirrors were so valuable that Venice guarded the technique like a military secret. Glassmakers were forbidden from leaving the city. If they tried to flee, and teach the technique to foreign competitors, Venice would send assassins after them. This wasn't a rumor, it was official policy. So, did anyone dare to escape? Yes. A few brave artisans smuggled themselves out, risking death, because the fortune waiting outside Venice was worth it. By the 1600s, mirrors became the ultimate status symbol. But how obsessed with mirrors can one person be? King Louis XIV of France built an entire room made of them. The Hall of Mirrors at Versailles. 357 mirrors. For centuries, mirrors remained expensive and dangerous to make. The mercury used to coat them was toxic. Mirror makers suffered tremors, tooth loss, hallucinations. But what if there was a way to make mirrors without poison? In 1835, a German chemist named Justus von Liebig was experimenting with silver compounds. By accident, he discovered that he could coat glass with pure silver using a chemical reaction. No mercury, no toxic fumes. Can you guess what happened next? Within decades, mirror factories opened across Europe and America. What had once been a treasure for kings was now hanging in barbershops and department stores. Mirrors became so common that people stopped thinking of them as magical. But what if you wanted your mirror to lie to you? Around the 1890s, traveling carnivals began installing distortion mirrors. Glass deliberately warped to stretch you tall, squeeze you wide, ripple your body into impossible shapes. These weren't mistakes. They were carefully engineered illusions. A curved mirror could make you look 8 feet tall and paper thin. Another could squash you into a short, wide version of yourself. Stand before a wavy mirror and your entire body seemed to ripple like water. Why would anyone want this? Because it was hilarious. The funhouse became a carnival staple. Children would press their faces close, watching their features stretch and compress. But did funhouse mirrors teach us anything beyond entertainment? Yes. By distorting reflections, they revealed the rules. They showed that truth in a normal mirror is really just light following very specific paths. Change the curve, change reality. Ever wondered how a modern mirror is actually made? It begins with a massive sheet of perfectly flat glass, slowly moving along a conveyor belt. Jets of water spray it from all sides, washing away every speck of dust. Even a fingerprint would ruin the reflection. Next, the glass enters a sealed chamber. In the darkness, a fine mist of liquid silver is sprayed across the surface. The silver particles settle like snow, coating it in a layer thinner than a human hair. The silver is sealed with protective copper and paint. What emerges is a perfect mirror, ready to hang on a wall and reflect light for decades. So, the next time you glance at your reflection, remember the Obsidian polishers, the Venetian assassins, the German chemist's accidental discovery, and the carnival mirror makers who taught us to laugh at ourselves. They all contribute to that simple piece of glass. Good night.